Hey everybody, welcome to the Manny and Shawn Experience. My name is Manny.
And I'm Shawn.
And on today's episode, we have the following topics for you.
Today, we're talking about healing, whether that be from a relationship, the loss of someone, or a pet. We're digging into that in the mixtape, and we will get into our issue as we always do.
Yeah, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Manny and Shawn Experience.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back, everyone. You know who this is. It's Manny. Or if you're not watching us, then I hope you recognize my voice.
And I'm Shawn. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Manny and Shawn Experience podcast edition. So happy to have everyone here. Thank you to all our new followers, subscribers, OGs. I know some of you that have been listening to us forever are like, shut the F up. But we got to appreciate everybody that gives us a play, gives us a listen. We're very appreciative. So we want to make sure everybody hears that.
Super grateful, super thankful for coming back. How are you doing?
I'm still kind of on a Beyonce high.
I think we all are.
This is going into week 2 now. I may have been looking at tickets in other venues and then quickly brought back down to this planet when I saw prices, and then you got to travel there.
I think everyone that has seen the show kind of gets this high where it's like, I want to go again, and definitely have that feeling.
I mean, I've seen TikToks and X, that doesn't sound right, tweets. X tweets. What the hell do you call them now?
I don't know. People still call it tweets because nobody knows what to call it.
Anyways, I've seen people like, Beyonce's show must have crack because I just want to keep going for more.
I mean, it's an amazing show. And I know we talked about it in the last episode. If you have not watched that, go watch it. Also, Manny has put together a video of our clips that we took from the show. So if you just want to get our view from Tampa and how the show went for us, stay tuned for that. It should be out soon.
Yeah, it might be out before this episode.
It might be. So,
so go scouring on YouTube for it. It will not be audio podcast because it's not a podcast. But
yeah, it won't be a vlog per se, but
it's just, I'm going to call it a taste of the Renaissance World Tour.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. But anyways, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah, this week has been busy with work, but that's the normal shuck and jive of everybody. If you got a job working 9 to 5 just to stay alive,
just how Beyonce says. Yes.
Then you know how that goes. But otherwise, like mentally, physically, I'm good, and I'm in a good place, and I'm happy about that.
Awesome.
I'm in a good place to talk about healing.
That's good because that's today's topic. So shall we jump into the mixtape?
Let's mix it up.
Mix it up. Mixing it. I keep doing that. I should stop.
You're in the mix.
Welcome to the mixtape. And today our topic is brought to you by you. Our fellow Instagram followers. We asked some questions for you because this week we wanted to focus on healing. And we've gone through healing.
I feel like everyone's gone through healing at some point in their life.
True, but some resist healing at times and just want to stay in the
hurt?
In the hurt. They lavish off of the hurt. Like it brings them some normalcy sometimes, but I think it's important to heal, but it also looks different for everyone.
It looks different for everyone. Everyone has a different time frame. Everyone doesn't heal at the same time. It's different for everybody.
Yeah, so we asked 3 questions to our Instagram followers, and we had quite a few responses. If yours was not selected, it was not done intentionally. We do appreciate everyone who submitted. But we only have an hour. So, but we definitely appreciate everyone who responded, and we hope you will continue engaging with us because we love these kind of episodes because they're really not focused on, well, it's focused on something, but it's not like pop culture or, we're engaging on things that people go through.
Look, y'all know how we like to do here. The reason why it is called the Manny and Shawn Experience is because this podcast is supposed to be about different experiences. And whether that's us talking about some pop culture mess that happened or politics, at the heart and root of it, like, we just want to build community and have conversations with you guys. And we love when you talk back to us and when we can do episodes like this, especially ones around mental health and stuff like this where we could possibly help someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll jump right into the first question. The first question we asked is, what's a song, album, or artist that has helped you heal? Now, usually music is really a go-to for, I think, could be wrong, is a go-to for a lot of people in assessing their feelings, where they're at. Or they may hear words in a song. It's like, yeah, I relate to that song.
Music definitely helps me. It helps me when I'm angry. It helps me when I'm sad.
It has a whole Manny Anger episode or playlist.
That was a long time ago. I did. And sometimes I have to go back to that. But usually it's not because of you.
Oh, okay.
It's called my Over It playlist. And there's a lot of Over It songs on it.
Yeah, there is.
Go ahead.
So on the screen, we'll kind of play or show some of the responses. But for our listeners on the pod audio version, we'll read these responses to you. So someone submitted God Loves Ugly by Jordan Sparks.
I don't know that I've heard that song.
I don't think I've ever heard it either. I do enjoy Jordan Sparks.
Yeah, she has a pretty voice.
That's a pretty voice. I remember, how are you supposed to breathe with no air?
Okay.
Anyways, so somebody relates to that song. So if you're in the process of healing, you may want to check that out. It might touch those emotions that you're looking at or trying to go through. This is an album by Miss Kelly Clarkson called My December.
Yeah, one of our friends said that is his favorite Kelly album as well. And I have to admit that I hadn't listened to it before he said that. And I went back and I think I listened through half of it because I'd never heard that album. And it seems to be a lot more personal and like she's going through things in it. So I can definitely see why that would be one to help.
Yes, I'm a huge Kelly fan. That's not one of the albums that I touch too much on, but there are some really standout tracks on there. And I can see if somebody is working through feelings, that album will get you there. Staying in the Kelly Clarkson category, we say Go High. That's a single. And then Army of Me by Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
I love Army of Me.
I like that song as well.
Go High is a great song too. I can jam to that song as well. Then we have Breathin' by Ariana Grande. I love that song.
Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing and breathing.
That's a good one too.
It is.
I can tie to that one emotionally. Hold On by Adele.
Okay.
You heard that one?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love Adele. I listen mostly to her first album because it has songs on there that do what I said before. Right. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I love Adele's voice, but I don't know that I associate that much with her, but I know her music is definitely very lyrically written.
Yeah.
So I can see how that can definitely.
All of her songs are about feelings and hurt or healing or getting over things.
100%. You want to take the middle bubble there?
The next one we have is Trying Not to Think About It, an EP by JoJo, which is one of my favorite bodies of work by JoJo. It is definitely one of the things that I go to when I was healing, which I'm sure we will get into. But my favorite song of it is probably Dissolve. But yeah, I really feel that album or EP, whatever.
I did not submit this. But the fact of the matter is, this album, in the period of time where it came out, ooh, baby Jesus, take the wheel. That album is pure emotion. If you're going through life issues, that's a good one. There's so many good standout tracks on that one that just touch back to life.
There are.
Mine would probably be Anxiety. There's something, Dissolve is great too. That album is a great body of work. If you're in your feelings, go to that album. Holy God.
Next we have Ocean by Lady A, or just music in general, which is understandable because there's so many different genres and artists and albums that can help you heal through things.
Yeah, like depending on my mood, I may refer to like lo-fi beats. Like I don't want to hear any words.
Right.
I just want smooth, calming beats in my ear, brings down my blood pressure or my anxiety. So yeah, music in general, I think, is the healing thing.
I agree.
Then we have Por Siempre by Bad Bunny. So his whole album. And no, I did not submit that.
Someone just said I got so many. And again, understandable. There's a lot of music. It's hard to pick one person or album because there's a lot of different ones that can help. Old Pink stuff and some Toni Braxton. I love Pink. I tend to lean more towards her beginning albums more than her latter stuff, but her first album is amazing to me, and I know that was an album that she wasn't so crazy about making. And then the albums that followed, Misunderstood, and I can't remember the third one, but all great albums.
And then the last song we got was Good Things Fall Apart.
Eleni?
Yes.
Featuring John Bellion.
I've never heard this song, if I'm going to be honest with you.
I haven't either. And sometimes I that's what I like about doing this, because I get introduced to new music that I have not heard of before. So I have a couple of artists to check out now.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go check out some of the songs that I don't know on here.
Yeah.
Like God Loves Ugly, and then Good Things Fall Apart. All the other songs, I know them. I didn't submit them. I know them.
So what is yours?
So mine comes off of the Por Siempre album by Bad Bunny.
Okay.
It's called Rolandito, or RLNT. Oh shit. Let me look. Yes, I am a huge Bad Bunny fan. Okay, it doesn't mean I know the word. Yeah, I don't know the words or.
Lord have mercy.
RLNDT is the song on it. He did a lot of play on like acronym-y things on the Por Siempre tour. Like Por Siempre is spelled X100 PRE. So
yeah, I will look at that and be like, I don't know what that means.
So that particular song came out it was on his first album. So this was what, 2018?
Sure.
And that song wrapped up everything I felt for many, many years. It felt what I was going through in moments. It's still a song that I go back to every single time. It's about the name itself was based on a young man that went missing in Puerto Rico. But the song itself is more about self-discovery. He talks about, hello, who am I? So dealing with life issues of not knowing who you are, what pathway you're in, am I going the right way? who's in there to care for me, who's really in it for not caring for me, but in it for whatever. That song is very, very deep. And if he ever to perform it, I don't think I've ever heard him perform it. I will probably cry at the concert because I can't not listen to the song and get teary eyed right now because it is so impactful of a song because it describes upbringing of struggles with being gay and blah, blah, blah. Now, he doesn't say that in his song, obviously, but it's about people's personal struggle and whatever you're fighting through and whatever you're working through. That song to me, yes, life. Followed closely by JoJo's trying not to think about it.
So I'm like many of you, there are many different albums that I will listen to depending on what the mood is that I'm trying to get through or change as far as healing goes. Again, JoJo's album played a major part in my healing from a certain situation. And like Manny said, that album came out at a great time. Also, Mary J. Blige's Good Morning Gorgeous. I know some people don't like that album. That's a really good album. And one of the songs on it, Rent Money, meant so much to me. Just everything about that song, very deep, but it really explored what was happening in that moment, and I could relate to it so well when it was happening. But lately, I've really been digging. I know Kelly has a new album out, and it's called Chemistry, which is really good. I do have at first I wasn't really hip on mine, but like I really love that song now. Yeah. And for some reason, I've been going back to Meaning of Life. That album is so good, but some standout tracks that really help heal, I feel like, are Cruel. Don't be cruel. I love that song. And that's a good song. I Don't Think About You, which is a great song for healing, if you ask me. Especially once you get over that hump of healing and knowing that I don't think about you no more. Yeah. Truly, I don't. And I love it. I don't know. That's just a couple. I have quite a few, but those are my standouts.
We can let us know. Do you want a Manny and Shawn healing playlist?
Ooh. And then we can add some of these songs and share it as a Spotify. Yeah. I love that idea.
I like that idea. I'm full of ideas lately.
Good for you. I'm so happy to have you on the team.
But yeah, and it's funny how music can definitely touch a chord. Like going back to my song, I hear it come on and I'm already getting teary-eyed. And it's crazy that a song could have such an effect. But to hear the words of how you feel being sung to you is, I don't know, it's impactful to me. And in the end of the song, it wraps up, essentially like, I know I have a purpose. I know I have a place, but I may have gotten confused. So, I mean, the song just throws the emotions and then we wrap it up like, you do have a purpose. So.
And just since we're on a Beyonce kick, Resentment. Oh. Love that song. And then any song off of Destiny Fulfilled is probably a healing. It just is. Anyway, go ahead.
Not Church Girl?
I mean, Church Girl is like after you heal. Because that song is a journey. It's from the struggle to like when you get to the other side and then you're happy again. So yeah, Church Girl too.
I got church in the morning. Anyways, that's not how she sings it.
All right.
You want to start?
So the next question we asked was, what does healing mean to you? And this question kind of sparked this episode, if we're being honest. And these are some of the responses we got from you guys. Taking time for me, myself, and I, doing the things I love.
Beyonce said that. Just me, myself.
We're not going to talk about Beyonce the whole episode. But no, I love that. Taking time for yourself. You know, we are major cheerleaders for self-care here. And self-care is something that you can really do to help go through the healing process.
Mm-hmm. Our second submission is being able to talk and reflect without being consumed with overwhelming emotion.
Love that.
That's how Beyonce said, getting to the other side.
Yes.
The other side of your, whatever you're going through.
Yeah. I feel that because when I was getting over what I was getting over and being in therapy and talking to my therapist, there were a lot of times where I could not talk about the situation without breaking down and crying. And then when we finally got to that point where I could talk about it and I did not have that same emotional reaction to it, I was like, I've healed from this.
Yeah. Funny story there, because I scheduled a session with my therapist once because I had gotten through some emotional things, and in a moment something else happened and I felt no emotion, and I scheduled a session with him because I'm like, I don't feel emotion. I'm like, am I going crazy? I feel like I should feel some kind of emotion.
He thought he was a psychopath, y'all.
My therapist was like, yeah, no, you're not going to turn into some psycho murderer killer. He's like, you just know how to deal with certain situations now better than you did before.
Right.
So he's like, it's not that you don't feel emotion, it's that you know how to work through those emotions. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Healing is growth, and you grew.
Yeah, I mean, but when you don't know how to heal properly for 30 some years, what you know is what you know, which you're like, I'm going through this situation. I'm supposed to feel this way because this is how I always felt.
Right.
But as you learn to heal and grow correctly, it's a different feeling.
It is.
It's a very different feeling. Like, for example, the dog peed on the rug the other night. Normally, I would flip my lid. I was just like, well, let's go get some towels and clean this shit up. like those are, I mean, that's a minimal thing, obviously, but it's just, you notice these behaviors that I always catch myself like, oh, I did react a little differently there than normal.
Therapy. The next person said, moving through pain and ending up better on the other side. Mm-hmm. Again, church girl.
Snap, snap, snaps.
Next.
Learning and evolving from a situation that broke you.
I feel that as well.
I felt that.
I feel like depending on the situation, you know, everyone is healing from something different. Mm-hmm. But especially relationships, friendships, that type of thing, you learn a lot from what happened. You learn what not to do again and how to better handle situations like you were talking about. Love that.
Well, and that's why it's important to heal or work through emotions and not just fester in it, because you won't learn from it.
Right.
You just live in that same pain and you may redo whatever caused that pain.
A lot of people don't heal and don't seek help, and they wind up repeating the mistakes that they made, and then they live in that misery until they realize that, you know, something has to change. Yeah.
So, I mean, that is profound, because anything that we've gone through individually or together, we've always like, wow, this, even though that hurt in that moment, we have now grown from it.
Right. It's a journey. It takes time to heal from some things longer than other things. It is definitely a journey. And like we said in the beginning, everyone heals in their own time and in their own way.
Yeah. And don't let anybody tell you that you need to heal in a specific time frame.
Yeah.
Like what somebody might get over sooner, somebody else might not get over as quickly.
Yeah.
And I think we need to all respect that pathway for people when they're healing and not place our own biases. Because I've seen this happen where people are are just like, just get over it. Like,
Right.
it was done. It's over. And it's like, yeah, easy for you to say that because you're not the person that was hurt. So I think it's important to allow people to grieve and know that at times you may revert back to that pain for a moment, a day. And my therapist told me this, and I've said it before here. We're not going for perfection.
No.
We're going for proficiency and giving us that grace to be able to acknowledge those feelings if they creep up, but then learning or reminding yourself on how to overcome those. So I think that's profound too. Is this mine? Oh,
Yes.
Peace in myself to go on in the world and not be held back from my past or trauma.
Love that as well.
Yes.
All of these are really good, y'all.
I know. As I was pulling these, I was like, well, damn, y'all some profound people. Y'all going through healing or have gone through healing.
A lot, yeah. Accepting that you may never get an answer or an explanation.
Where's my fan? I need to fan me off. I'm hot on that one.
Yeah. Okay. So this one was difficult for me.
The both.
Because, well, the both of us. Like, you want that reason why. You want to know what happened. But sometimes we don't get those answers, and we have to be okay with that. I had to learn that the hard way, and therapy was definitely a great tool to help me get through that, because my therapist was like, you're doing fine right now. You don't have the answers to the questions that you want, but you have healed, you have moved on, you have progressed, and you have to be okay with never getting those answers. And I think that is a huge part of healing, because even though it would be nice to know, you have been able to do your best and get through it without having those questions. And you can't fester on them. You can't linger on them and wonder about them, because I feel like sometimes that hurts the process more than it helps the process.
Very much so.
But I feel that 1,000%.
Yeah, that was one of my struggles in therapy was, he's like, you're not going to get the whys. You're searching for the whys.
Right.
And you're not going to get them.
And you have to be okay with it.
Yeah. That took me a while to like register. And it is a hard thing to do. And, you just have to overcome it. And then a profound question he did ask me once was, so even if you do get the answer, are you going to believe what was said to you?
My therapist said the same thing.
Yeah. And my answer to him was like, I don't know, probably not. And he's like, so why focus on that?
Right.
Because even if you get an answer, it's going to probably reopen wounds. It's going to cause you more pain and maybe even more anger.
Yeah.
He's like, so why disrupt the healing process?
All right.
I think this is yours, buddy.
I just did that one.
Okay. Thinking about someone who hurt you and not wishing them ill will. Oh, when you reach that point of healing. Yes.
When you reach that point of healing, yes. Because like I said, in the song Rent Money, Mary J was like, I can't even wish you well. And I was like that at one point. But now I can.
Yeah,
I can wish you well.
And I think that's part of the journey. Like, I think you're allowed to have those feelings of resentment and potentially not wishing the person ill will or the situation that's being presented. But yeah, getting to that point. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's just human nature. When someone hurts you or you've been hurt, you just want the worst for that person. You want them to feel the exact same pain that they have inflicted upon you.
100%.
Honoring where you are currently. Honoring where you currently are while working towards a newer version of yourself. Love that as well.
Snap, 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 snaps.
It's like the other person's are, it's a journey. And everyone is going to be at a different spot at a different time. But honoring that you are working on yourself and being proud of where you are in that journey, knowing that you will eventually get to the other side, that's what it's about.
Yeah. I mean, my therapist and I would call it would be like versions. Manny 1.5.
I love that.
That's where we're at right now. Manny 1.5. And we would use that as reference points sometimes. He's like, I'd be like, I went from 2.5 to kind of Manny 2.0 the other day.
You had a downgrade.
Yeah. But yeah. And then the final one for what does healing mean to you? We cannot be hard on ourselves for how long it takes to heal, which I kind of went on a rant a little bit ago about that. But yeah, we can't. We cannot be hard on ourselves, and other people cannot be hard on yourself. And I think in the next question, we will talk about the word boundaries. Mm-hmm. That's very important. When people don't understand that you're still healing or going through something.
Yes. All right. So the next question is, what's something you have done to help you heal?
Oh, you want to take the first? Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. Self-care. Learning that it's okay to chill out and not do or think about 101 things. Amen to that.
Easier said than done.
It is easier said than done. But self-care is just you doing what's best for you. And a lot of times we get so caught up in being caretakers for other people that we kind of forget about ourselves. And even when you're going through something, some people just either, put on a mask or put on a face like everything is okay when they really are still healing. Mm-hmm. So self-care is super important.
Yeah. It's funny that sometimes when I work out and you're doing the warm down, they're like, clear your mind. And in that moment, I'm like, damn, I am thinking about 20 things right now.
I'd be doing the same thing.
And then I really try to clear my mind. I'm like, okay, I need to stop thinking about these things and do this warm down to clear my brain. And sometimes I don't think you realize how many things
you're thinking about
are running through your head at once. And it's building anxiety. Rekindle my faith, appreciate love and spread love, and eating pizza.
Love all of that.
Food is also part of healing at times.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, whatever faith is to you, and we've talked about that in a previous episode about spirituality and faith. But I love spreading love because we need so much more of that. And I love pizza. So great.
I love pizza. My body says no. Because I just get fat.
My body says yes.
My body says, you have now gained 45 pounds. But yeah, definitely appreciating love and spreading love. Like sometimes when you're going through things, you don't accept the love that people are trying to give you.
Right.
In those moments of support because you're so blocked off.
Right.
So I think that's very important.
Moving through pain and ending up better on the other side. You finally on the other side.
All the tears I've cried. Tears that we've cried. We got church in the morning.
Not trying to do it on purpose, y'all, but it just matches. But yes, getting through the pain, ending up on the other side where you are happy and you are a new version of yourself, like someone else said. Like all of the things you guys are saying are merging together. And this is exactly what healing is about.
Yeah, 100%. Leave my ex, met someone new, write, sing, practice tarot, and create boundaries.
Okay.
Definitely. If the relationship you're in, you have given it what you can, you have worked through it, you have gone through the checklist of survival tips. there is a time where you just have to end that.
Yeah.
Because if it's bringing you more pain than joy, is it really worth it to have a person in your life?
If it does not benefit you, let it go.
Yeah. I mean, that could be an ex, a friend, a
family member.
A family member. If they're causing you more pain than joy, then you have to let it go. Or to go back here, create boundaries with that person. Mm-hmm. With an ex, you don't want to create boundaries, but an ex is an ex. But, with a friendship or a family member, you may need to create those boundaries to secure your healing and
preserve your mental health.
So, I think that is so important. I don't know how many times my therapist said that about boundaries.
Music and eat some good ass food. Again, I'm here for both of those things.
Mm-hmm. Good ass food. Yes. And music. Those two things are amazing. Music and food.
Mm. And one more thing, but we won't say that. Anyway.
Oh. I think I have an idea. Not sure.
Acknowledge that we are all imperfect humans.
Oh, where's my fan? Clack, clack, clack. Yes.
Yeah, like you said, we're not reaching for perfection. We're reaching for proficiency. No one's perfect. None of us are. We all fall short. And we all make mistakes, but learning from those things, like we said earlier, it just helps to make you a better person.
Yeah. I mean, wow. Acknowledge that we are all imperfect humans. And I think a lot of us grow up in this world where we want to be perfect. We want to impress. We want to ensure that we are living up to what our parents may want, or what our families or friends' expectations. So once we kind of realize that we are all imperfect, that we should give ourselves grace, I think that's huge.
It took me a long time to get there, but here I am.
Here I am 39 years later.
It's fine. We all get
It's better late than never.
This person said, reach out to loved ones. And that's great if you have that support system, or you have those people around you who will be there for you and help you get through things. That's awesome.
Yeah. And when you pick those loved ones, make sure they are loved ones that won't fuel your anger.
Yeah.
You want
the right loved ones.
The loved ones that are going to be impartial and maybe provide advice that might make you feel uncomfortable. And I think being uncomfortable is where you start growing and learning.
Yeah, I mean, truth hurts, like they say, but sometimes the truth is necessary for people.
Yeah, I mean, my therapist sometimes he just made me feel like, bitch, I'm paying you. You're supposed to make me feel good. But I mean, after you go through those moments, you're like, okay, I see why I felt so uncomfortable in that moment. I needed to hear that.
Right.
I needed it to be said that way.
Right.
Because clearly it wasn't working before.
And last but not least, go to therapy sessions with a soul journey coach, meditation, and boundaries.
Boundaries, y'all. Boundaries are so important.
Boundaries are important. Therapy is important if you can get it. There are many resources out here, but I think therapy is a huge helping point because you're speaking to someone who doesn't have any stakes in the game. Like, they are there simply to listen to you and give a perspective that you might not get from someone who knows you personally or whatever the situation is. They are there to help guide you through the situation with a lens that's not objective.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge. The boundaries are huge. I'm curious to know what a soul journey is. Soul journey coach. I may need to do some research on that.
To me, it sounds like another form of therapy, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm curious. Curiosity.
I mean, it sounds awesome.
It does sound awesome.
It's so draining.
It might be a different way of therapy. I think that's really cool. So what's something you've done to help you heal? I know we've been commenting throughout.
Some of all of these things, mainly my for healing for me, what I've mostly done is music therapy, because music is therapy, actual therapy, and just taking the tools that I learned from that and putting them into action and doing a little self-care as well are all things that I've done to heal and go through the healing process.
I'll ask myself, what about you, Manny?
I
What
said
have
you. What about you, Manny? What have you done?
Thank you so much
You're
for
so
asking.
welcome.
You fucking up the set again. Oh, I think my first F-bomb of the pod. Ding, ding. For me, definitely going through therapy was huge to help me heal. I had another word in my head and I forgot. Boundaries, yes, boundaries. Setting boundaries was always a hard thing for me because I always wanted to be a people pleaser. I wanted to immediately acknowledge or respond when people wrote to me. Now I'm just like, if I'm clearly not in a space where I want to talk, I won't respond to text messages. I won't reach out to people. That's another thing. Like sometimes in friendships, you put on a lot of the reaching outness of things, which can also affect your mental health in terms of building friendships. And, I've learned now that if I reach out and I don't get the same energy, Beyonce. Seriously, we did not script this to be around Renaissance or Beyonce music. It's just all the words fall into place for some reason.
I mean, they do.
Then I just back off and set my boundaries. And I'm like, maybe this is a distance person now that I have to deal with. So I think those are all wonderful things, but definitely going to therapy, setting boundaries, definitely using my tools that I got through therapy. And before reacting, thinking. I used to be very reactive.
Yes, you were.
Hence the playlist he had. But thanks to everyone who was vulnerable to us and definitely reached out, answered the questions. We kept them anonymous because we didn't want to put anybody on the spot with their responses. I forgot one here that we had.
What?
What's something you've done to help you heal? And the response was, be a hoe.
And that's fine. Like, not for nothing. Like,
sometimes you need that, especially if you weren't having the opportunity to engage in such things. Sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm free, bitch. Be a hoe for a while.
That can be a part of the healing process.
Yeah,
you
just
can
practice safe sex. Okay, everybody practice safe sex. But we want to thank Julia Meyer Thrasher. We want to thank Scream Queer Podcast, Harry the Realtor, Annette, Michael David, Little Zaddy Shortcakes. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Jay. Oh goodness.
Roger.
So thank you to everyone who responded. I hope I didn't forget your names. I hope I wrote them down. Look, y'all, producing this episode was a little challenging because we had a lot of shit going on here at the house.
Yes.
But if you submitted a response and I didn't capture your name, I'm very sorry. I am going to go back through and on the YouTube, at least we will give those acknowledgments on screen.
But thank you again to all of you who answered the questions and submitted and were vulnerable enough to share with us today.
Oh, Amanda as well.
Amanda as well.
I promise. Go to YouTube and I'll get you all accounted for.
It's fine.
I won't put your quotes under your name.
All right. So does that wrap up the mixtape?
I think that wraps up our mixtape this week. We only had one little segment for you. We knew this would probably be a good conversation point. But definitely before we wrap it up, if you are struggling with mental health or anything, please reach out to resources that are out there. I'm pretty sure you thought an ad was coming, but we still don't have sponsors. I would love to have a mental health sponsor of some kind. But definitely seek the resources. There's text messaging resources. Virtual mental health services are huge now because of post-COVID. I know it can be expensive, so if money's a little tight, but I know there are free resources out there. You can check your local cities and counties and see what they offer. One session, even if it's free, is better than none.
True.
You might get some good pieces there to kind of take with you.
And check with if you do have health insurance through your job or wherever, sometimes they will even have counseling sessions, which is kind of like therapy. I know at work we get like 10 sessions a year. So you just never know. Just check and see what resources are available to you.
Yeah, I got mine through Teledoc, which I know we talked about in our mental health journey, but Teledoc, it was absolutely free because of the way my insurance was set up.
Yeah.
So you may want to even check Teledoc. And if you have free services with Teledoc, you might get free mental health services because my company has two different things. You can do it through Teledoc for free, or you can pay some other company. I think it's $120.
Mm.
So I obviously went the Teledoc route. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So definitely do your research. I know it can be daunting. I think that's why we put it off so much.
Probably.
Is because every time you looked, it was like, oh, this is overwhelming. Like, don't make mental health overwhelming to people that are seeking mental health.
Right.
Because it's like, it's the easiest way to shut somebody off from mental health treatment. It's like, oh, no, I got to go through all these doctors. I honestly don't even, it took me 4 months to like figure out the freeness of the Teledoc thing. So, a little research, a little patience.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. Shall we wrap up the mixtape?
Let's wrap it up.
All right, we're going to jump into what's your issue. Hey, y'all, welcome back now to our What's Your Issue? What's your issue?
I don't have one this week.
You keep saying that every damn week. Damn, we changed this whole segment and now you ain't got nothing.
I know.
It's okay, you don't have to have anything.
I'll just give a quick political thing because we haven't talked about politics in forever.
I'm over here with this mic again like Adele. Let me stop.
I am glad that 45 is finally reaping what he sowed. If you've seen the mugshot, he looks pressed as
There's
always.
a lot of makeup
but like
on that face.
real pressed.
There's a lot of makeup.
And the rest of his croonies, I'm loving the memes of them like dressed up like Batman villains in their mugshots. I just hope this time it actually sticks and they get what they all deserve for lying to the American people. For some reason, people out here still giving this man money. I don't know why. For what? Why he paid a $200,000 bond. Why are you giving him money? Anyway.
What's 200,000?
Right. 2024 is right around the corner. The Republicans have already had their first debate. I did not watch it. It looked like trash. I saw part of it on TikTok. It still looks like trash. I don't know what's happened politically in this country anymore. But I just pray that we come out of it on the other side in a better America. That's all I pray for.
Beyonce said America has a problem.
And it does. It really does have a problem. But yeah, I guess that'll be my issue this week. Short and sweet. What's your issue?
I didn't want to talk politics either, but listen, you guys, if you've been here or you're new here, obviously we're LGBTQ. Our stance is probably going to be more to the left than some people. I don't care what political affiliation you are. If you're listening, you're welcome here. But when I hear things, well, first of all, let me address the whole Trump and his croony things. I always say, like, if any other regular motherfucker out here did the things that they had done, we would be so far locked up in a motherfucking jail. And the fact that these people just running around town is taking this long to do any kind of prosecution against them is beyond my level of understanding, and puts into spotlight the injustices in the criminal justice system.
I mean, facts. I mean, we know what politics is at this point. It is just turned into a sport of us versus them. And when they do something wrong, it's for political reasons and not because he actually did something wrong, but he actually did many things wrong.
Right. Like, you can just pull out the political shit and just be like, what you did was criminally incorrect.
Right.
And the rest of us, normal Americans, Republicans, Democrats, independents, whatever, had we done anything to the caliber of what these people have done, we would be locked up.
Yeah.
Period. So when we talk about injustices in the criminal justice system, this is a prime example front and center for all of us to watch. Because I'm pretty sure if any little person, regular middle-class person, did something like they did, we wouldn't be outside. We wouldn't be breathing fresh air.
Mm.
We'd be locked up behind bars.
And a lot of people wouldn't be able to pay that $200,000 bond.
Right. Like, look at some people on January 6th in jail, paying fines, while the people that you went supposedly to support there are walking around just paying away $200,000 bonds.
Mm.
Like it's popcorn money.
But her email.
So I'm just taking out the political part and just showcasing the criminal justice system. Yes, finally something happened. Do I think any of these people are really in trouble? Absolutely not. I don't. I'll believe it when I see it. And then one quick thing on the Republican debate. The spread of misinformation was just glorious on it. And I didn't even watch the whole damn thing. But the fact that we continue pushing the agenda that climate change, and for those of you that don't know, I am a huge climate change person. One of those diplomas up there is global sustainability. The fact that we can continue to push the misinformation of climate change is just beyond me. And the fact that people continuously believe it. I think it was Nikki Haley, who was actually the most
moderate,
rational person on that stage, surprisingly, considering she worked for Trump. And I say rational loosely because there were some things where she said, I'm about to get there. She said that, was it her? Yes. The batteries in electric cars being built in China is the problem for climate change. We need to go after China. And I'm like, why the fuck are we always going after China? Mm-hmm. I get the issues there with China, but China is actually moving into a more sustainable world than we are here in the United States. And also, if she fact-checked, for Americans to get credits on their electric cars, there's a percentage of those batteries that are being built here in the United States of America.
So much so that some other companies that don't have manufacturing here are breaking ground and building factories here to build electric vehicles and batteries because they know that they get money from the government for doing so. So, like, what she's saying doesn't really have any merit. But they're just saying things to say things.
I mean, China is always going to be a buzzword that'll get people stirred up here in this country.
And I don't know why, but everything you buy is made in China.
Everything we buy is for the love of God. I'm sure my fan was made in China.
You and Beyonce got that from China?
Oh, let's look. Sorry for the noise, y'all. I don't see where it may have been made. Okay, so maybe it wasn't made in China.
Oh, well.
I'm sure it was still managed. Beyonce's like, I don't want that on my fan, but you guys can make it. But yeah, that's my issue because I'm just the whole notion that climate change is not real is really bugging me. Like,
I mean, if you step outside right now, you would literally melt. That is why climate change is real. I don't understand how people can see the polar ice caps are melting, water levels are rising, the sea is heating up at a stupid rate, and think that climate change does not exist.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, the Key West, and I think I said it before, the Key West waters hit hot tub temperature, what a regular hot tub would be tempered at. That's not normal.
Coral reefs are dying. Like, we're getting crazy, what they call 500-year storms or whatever.
And let's stop calling it 500-year storms.
Because it's not.
I mean, 500-year storms are gone. We've had consistency in storms. It's been consistently hotter every year.
Mm-hmm.
The scientific data is stuff we should look at and not the talking heads, whether it's a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat. Look at the data.
Step
and
outside.
Not the Newsmax data or the Fox News. Well, I don't know. Fox News had some really good questions on that debate, but they didn't know how to answer them. But
and everybody was just talking over everybody. Like, you can't get an answer out of anybody because somebody's challenging somebody else.
DeSantis looked like a donkey up there. That's just me.
Whatever. I'm glad he did very poorly during that debate because he's trash. Anyway, we're wrapping up.
We're gonna wrap up.
Okay, great. Let's get
What's your issue? We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Manny and Shawn Experience, and that you'll hit a button for us. A subscribe, a follow. I don't know what the hell Twitter calls it, X calls it anymore.
It's still follow.
Is it? Sure. But yeah, so don't forget, you should write a review if you enjoy our podcast on any of our audio platforms.
Yes, especially Spotify and Apple Podcasts because they will help our pod grow.
Absolutely. And if you want to be a part of our next
Q&A
podcast episode, you should probably follow along our Instagram or threads at MASXP 23. MASXP23. I said it twice because I finally got it.
Yay.
Without looking down.
You can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/MAXP23. We will be posting this episode as well as other video podcasts. And we do vlogs and travel series, so look out for that. You will be able to see Manny's Renaissance video that he made all by himself. Round of applause for him.
Thank you. Yes.
But yeah, that's...
Yeah, and don't forget, you can also email us questions, answers, sponsorship opportunities.
At mannyandsean@gmail.com.
Yes, mannyandsean@gmail.com. The only thing that did not change during our rebrand.
Yes. I mean...
But again, we appreciate everyone out there for supporting us, watching us, listening. We hope you'll join us for our conversations and subscribe. But we really do thank everyone that is here with us.
Thank you.
Any last words today?
If you're on a healing journey, continue to do what you're doing. Hopefully you got some good advice today from others out there who have been through healing journeys or are on a healing journey. Remember that self-care is self-care. It is the best thing that you could do for yourself.
Absolutely. My last words is keep doing you. You're doing the best you can do. Never tell yourself you're not being the best you can be. And if you're in a moment of sadness or I don't know what words I want to use.
Going through it.
Just know that you can go through it. But the important part is you can overcome that.
And you will be on the other side.
Finally on the other side.
Finally got a chance to smile.
I don't know what comes after that.
Swimming through the ocean of tears we cried.
I knew tears were in there somewhere. Anyways, how we love to end all of our podcasts because, again, we are all about mental health.
Do something good for yourself.
Then go do something good for someone else. And if you're not in a place to do something good for someone else, go do something else good for you.
Yeah.
That'll do it for us. This is episode 48. Seven. Damn it. This is episode 47. We have some exciting things coming up that we're trying to get arranged in the next couple of weeks. And we hope to bring you special guests onto our podcast. And, try to diversify our market and share other people's knowledge.
Yeah.
Because, we don't know everything.
We don't know much, actually. Just kidding.
All right, y'all. Stay engaged. Stay healthy. Take care of yourself. Have a great week. Thank you for joining us again in the Manny
and Shawn
Experience. See you on the nenext one.
Bye, y'all.
Finally on the other side. No.
Sure.
All the tears that we got.
Finally got it.
Oh, shit. All right.